Question is, discuss the contribution of Ashoka for spread of Dhamma. How Ashokan inscription changed the paradigm of relation between the king and the people. So first of all, to understand the question, contribution of Ashoka for spread of Dhamma. And then how Ashokan inscriptions change the paradigm of relation between king and people. Clear? What do you mean by the term paradigm? When we say paradigm shift, what do you mean by the term paradigm shift? If you understand the words of the question only, major part of the work will be done. What do you mean by the term paradigm? The question says paradigm of relation between king and people. Change the paradigm. What do you mean by when we say it's a paradigm shift? Major shift. Policy shift? Clear. Paradigm shift means policy shift. Changing the policy altogether, which was not seen earlier. Clear? So paradigm means complete change in the policy structure. This is known as paradigm shift. Now, question says, discuss the contribution of Ashoka for spread of Dhamma, first of all. Clear? And then second says, how Ashokan inscriptions change the paradigm of relation between king and people. Paradigm means how was the policy shift from in the relation between king and the people. First of all, clear? Contribution of Ashoka for spread of Dhamma. You must be knowing, after Kalinga war fought in the 9th regnal year, Ashoka got converted to Buddhism, abandoned the policy of physical annexation, and adopted the policy of cultural conquest. And this was promoted through his own philosophy known as the principle of Dhamma. How he contributed for the spread of Dhamma, the major thing that he contributed towards spread of Dhamma was through his inscriptions. Clear? He got large number of rock inscriptions written. Those rock inscriptions are divided broadly into 14 major rock edicts, 14 minor rock edicts, and 7 pillar edicts. Clear? In these rock inscriptions, he has written his message clearly, and that too in a language which could be understood by the people directly. The language that he has used is Prakrit language, and the script is Brahmi. Clear? In the extreme northwestern part of India, he used the language known as Aramaic, which was based on Iranian script known as Kharoshti script. The purpose of choosing local languages was that his message could be easily understood by the masses in general. Clear? So Ashokan contribution for spread of Dhamma was Ashoka began to spread the message of Dhamma through large number of rock inscriptions, which are found throughout Mauryan Empire in the 3rd century BC. Clear? But at the same time, how it marked a paradigm shift in relation between king and the people. Paradigm shift meaning thereby, till Ashoka, before Ashoka, all the rulers of ancient India, they basically gave royal orders to the people. Royal orders means that they dictated the terms to the people, that these are the policies of the king and you are bound to follow such policies. This was done by all rulers. But Ashoka became the first ruler of India to directly talk to his people. Clear? In fact, through these messages, he talked to the people of India that he wants such ideals to be followed in Mauryan Empire. So these are not dictated terms. Rather, it is a kind of moral instructions and request among the people that they should follow social harmony, they should follow tolerance, they should not resort to violent activities, and at the same time, they should respect Brahmanas, Shramanas, and the elderly people. So all these is a kind of moral code of conduct, which are in form of instructions given by Ashoka to his people. So he became the first monarch of India to directly talk to his people. Clear? And he talked to people to discuss his ideas rather than to dictate his terms. Clear? This resulted into healthy relationship between the monarch and the king, and it was a paradigm shift in the relation between king and the people for the first time. That is why Ashokan inscriptions are also known as Ashokan edicts. When we use the term edicts, edicts means they are royal instructions given to the people. That is, instructions to lead their life peacefully. And therefore, we use the term edicts. Edicts and inscriptions are different. Inscriptions in general, all things written on the rock surface by any ruler. But when we use the term edicts means royal instructions given by the king directly to his people. Clear? So this is the content. Now, how to formulate the answer. Content, you must be knowing about this question. Clear? The question is, discuss the contribution of Ashoka for spread of Dhamma. The content would be Ashok, after getting converted to Buddhist faith, began to promote a social code of conduct to unite the diverse sections of Indian society. And this he did through a popular language known as Prakrit language. Then you have to write about major rock inscriptions, pillar inscriptions. Give one or two examples if you remember. The most important being a rock inscription located at Kandahar, rock inscription located at Sarnath, rock inscription located at Rampurva, even pillars found at Rampurva and Sarnath. All these are major locations, clear? Even till the region of Deccan also, where he got major inscriptions written. And through all these inscriptions, he displayed his message to masses. You have to write about this. Then you have to write what kind of paradigm shift in relation between the king, because before him, all the rulers dictated their policies to the subject. He became the first monarch to rather give instructions to the people and requested the people to follow such code of conduct that indicate huge amount of tolerance and acceptance shown by Ashoka at this time. And he became the first monarch to directly talk to his people through rock inscriptions in different parts of India. Clear? These are to be written as content. Clear? More importantly, in one rock inscription, there are 13 to 14 messages written. What do you understand when we say 14 rock edicts? What do you understand when we say 14 rock edicts? 14 messages. What do we use that? When do we use the term 14 major rock edicts? What exactly do we mean? Rocks, exactly. Rocks at 14 places. And what is written on those 14 rock edicts? This concept needs to be clear. 14 major rock edicts doesn't mean at 14 places. But major rock edicts are found only at 10 places. 14 rock edicts means at one rock surface, 14 messages written. Clear? This is known as 14 major rock edicts. Make the concept clear. When we say 14 major rock edicts, doesn't mean that 14 places. At one surface, 14 messages of Ashoka are there. Clear? Obviously, if you write all the messages at one place, then only all the people will understand it comprehensively. It was not that 14 places, one single message were written. No. One rock surface, 14 messages were written so that any person standing in front could read all the 14 messages and can understand the philosophy of Dhamma. Clear? So 14 major rock edicts doesn't mean 14 places and single messages. No. 14 rock edicts means on one rock surface, 14 messages written of Ashoka. Clear? And his 13th line, he mentioned that he had conquered Kalinga in his 9th regnal year, filled with remorse because of large killing of innocent people, and has decided to abandon the policy of physical annexation. Clear? So all these are 14 messages mentioned on one single rock surface. Clear? That is the meaning of 14 rock edicts. Clear? So all this content. Then relation is clear. He became the first monarch to talk to his subjects, and then you will have to write conclusion. What could be, after knowing all the content, what could be the introduction? What could be the conclusion to this question? This can be that after the Kalinga War, Ashoka started to promote the principle of Dhamma as he abandoned the policy of physical annexation. Yeah, that can be there. That can be an introduction also. That after Kalinga War, just to give the context. Context is Dhamma started only after Kalinga War. You can also introduce that Dhamma was a social code of conduct adopted by Ashoka after Kalinga War to unite the heterogeneous sections of society. That can also be a introduction part. Then what could be the concluding remark to this question? As a global principle, obviously, clear, because Buddhism spread far and wide after this only. This can be, you can write in conclusion that with such approach of Ashoka, clear, large parts of heterogeneous Indian territory came to be united for a considerable period of time, and that resulted into homogeneous political identity over Indian territory. Clear? You can conclude that heterogeneous sections of Indian society came under homogeneous political identity under the great ruler Ashoka. Clear? Because empire is defined as heterogeneous communities coming under one political identity. So that can be a conclusion that large section of heterogeneous communities adopted common political identity just because of tolerance indicated by Ashoka through Dhamma or through principles of Dhamma. Consolidation of diversity within empire, cultural conquest even valid and relevant in present situations. Yeah, India being a soft power, we try to influence foreign policy through cultural component also, and same approach was adopted by Ashoka also. This can also be a conclusion that even now most of the countries, including India, believe in cultural expansion and cultural control or cultural expansion of the parts. And this was done by Ashoka in ancient India. Answer would be, just understand, the answer would be, first of all, you have to write about contribution of Ashoka. Clear. In the principle of Dhamma, you start after the policy of Kaling or War of Kaling. After War of Kaling, highlight that why Ashoka adopted Dhamma, as he abandoned the policy of physical annexation and adopted the policy of cultural conquest. Then you mention about how he promoted this Dhamma through 14 major rock edicts, minor rock edicts, and the pillar edicts. Write some of the content and examples there. And then at the same time, you can also write how it was a paradigm shift. Clear. It is a paradigm shift between king and people, because this Ashoka became the first ruler to talk to his people directly through rock inscription, and he gave instructions rather than dictated terms, unlike other rulers. And through instructions, he wanted to unite the heterogeneous sections under one political identity. Write the body part of this answer. Clear. Right. Ashoka contributed towards the spread of Dhamma by inscribing rock inscriptions, which are categorized, right? Point was number one, 14 major rock edicts, 14 minor rock edicts, and 7 pillar edicts. Right. In order to, next paragraph, in order to spread, you can make it a point also, in order to spread Dhamma, he adopted the popular language, Prakrit, which was understood by masses. Right, the third point, Ashokan inscriptions are inscribed throughout the Mauryan Empire from the extreme northwestern to eastern and southern part. Change paragraph, clear. Right, next point. Right, Ashoka has given a social code to be accepted across all sections, irrespective of religious affiliation. This is the first part. Right, the second, clear. Right, Ashoka became the first monarch to talk to his people directly, which marked a paradigm shift. Just keep on repeating questions also, which marked a paradigm shift in relationship between king and people. Paradigm shift in relationship between king and people. Right. Beside, he requested the people to follow Dhamma, which was a major shift from dictating terms of other rulers. You have to show paradigm shift. Right. Moreover, Ashoka talked about giving respect to all religious experts, including Brahmanas and Shramanas. Paradigm shift. Clear. Last but not the least, Ashokan inscriptions are known as edicts to indicate royal proclamation, which was to be honored, followed by people. Clear? Major points. Then you can write the conclusion, and the conclusion would be that through such approach, heterogeneous sections of society were made to accept one homogeneous political identity, which was the major greatness of Ashoka in ancient times.